Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Auntie Joan and Auntie providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Auntie Joan.
Hi, Auntie.
How are you?
I'm okay. How about your own self?
I'm good. Long time no see.
I know. I miss you.
Auntie Joan and I just spent almost 24 hours together because
And that
Auntie would not leave her house because she was being a lazy slug and did not want to go anywhere.
well, that big, beautiful, big, blonde fella you showed up with made it all worthwhile.
He is kind of cute, huh?
He is.
He's kind of cute. I think I'll keep him. My baby boy, Killian. Mama's angel.
He was such a good boy, as
He's always
usual.
a good boy. Yeah. He's sweet. And I got to see Isis and Oscar.
That's right. Oscar came out.
Oscar did. Yeah, he
Gave
did.
you the evil eye. And...
He did. Yeah.
And
sweet.
You came down because we had an event that we needed to participate in.
We went to the bingo.
They had a $3,000
progressive.
What do they call that? Progressive payout.
And it was a must go. So normally how the progressives work is there's a certain number of balls. Somebody has to yell the bingo. But if they don't yell the bingo in a certain number of balls, the game continues on, but the prize goes way down. It's like usually a $250 prize. Consolation prize is what they call it. But last night it was a $3,000 must go progressive and continued on with the consolation prize.
And guess who won?
Not
we don't
us.
know. We don't know who
People we don't know. Some dude won the $3,000. Yeah, that was kind of a bummer. There was also a $5,000 progressive, but it wasn't a must go. It was one of those, if you don't get it, the bingo and the number of balls that they call, then it just goes on to the consolation prize. And no one did, so nobody got the $5,000. But that dude won $3,000. I thought that was kind of awesome. And actually, I always want to applaud when anybody wins because I think it's cool, whether it's $250 or whatever. And no one ever does. But for the $3,000 dude, we got some claps in.
Yeah, everybody. Almost everybody.
That was nice. That was nice. I really do think everybody should celebrate every win and not be so,
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
I like that. I think it's fun. Make it more of a community thing. Like you're happy that somebody won.
Yeah.
So
she'll swear at somebody in the parking lot because they didn't park perfectly.
Oh,
and then she
that
wants
was
to go
not
and
perfectly.
applaud them when they win.
That was worse than not perfectly. Thank you very much. That jackass. He had a nice end spot. Nobody could park next to him, and he still parked cockeyed. So I had to park cockeyed, and then he left. So when we came out, it looked like I parked cockeyed.
Yeah, and it was a different person parked next to you, wasn't it? Because
on my side?
Yeah.
No, it was a guy.
They were pretty close.
I know. That's because I had to park that way.
Oh.
Yeah, because the other dude was cockeyed, and then he left. So like I said, now it looked like I'm the one that parked cockeyed. But I was forced to because we wanted front row parking. Damn it. And I wanted to park there.
Well, you did.
I did. I like front row. Hiccup. Sorry. I'm drinking tea. Apparently. Fireside.
Oh, are you
Celestial
doing dry
seasoning.
January?
Hell's no.
Oh.
But I don't drink on Thursdays typically unless we do a true happy hour.
Oh.
This is just, I'm freezing is another reason why I'm drinking tea. I had soup for dinner and I'm drinking, this is my second cup of tea.
Wow.
I stood outside for a while chatting with my neighbor because he's the best and he brought me over some firewood to fill up my bin because we're having very cold temperatures. And honestly, I texted him and he was at my house within 15 minutes. He's so good.
Gosh.
He was also he was a little annoyed with work and had been working crazy hours the week before. So he's taking some liberties this week a little bit. So he was organizing things in his garage. And I think this was a more enticing task for him to take on. So we stood outside for a while, chit-chatting. And the first time I just had my long sleeve t-shirt on and I was standing in the sun and it wasn't terrible, but the sun was
Oh.
starting to go towards the back of the house. It was starting getting colder and colder as we were talking. And then I thought he was leaving and he's like, all right, I'm coming back. I'll be right back with another load. And I was like, oh, I should have said that was enough, but I did really want it so he doesn't have to come back again soon. So I was like, okay. But I went inside and got a jacket at that point. So I did put a coat on at least, but I was cold. It's cold to the bone.
We're both lucky to have such good neighbors.
I tell you, I had great neighbors at my first house in Netherland. My first house my first house in Westminster. I did not know my neighbors. Not a single one. I didn't live there for too long. So I think I bought the house in 2002, but I was still in California when I bought it. And then I moved back in 2003 and I moved up to Netherland in 2007. Well, yeah. January 2007. So I really only had the house in I had the house for longer because I rented it out afterwards for a while until I ended up selling it because it was underwater. So I'm like, let's rent it until I can at least get my money back out of it.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
That's what I did. Yeah. So I didn't know my neighbors in Westminster. It was a proper neighborhood and everybody I chatted with a neighbor or two every now and again, but I never knew their names. They never knew my name. We never socialized at all. But when I moved to Ned, I got some really cool neighbors. And then moving over to where I am now, just lucked out. I mean, this guy's hate to tell you, he takes care of the little old lady next door. It's so funny. And it helped him by me reaching out because he had no idea the weather that was coming. Because he's like me. He likes bubbles and doesn't like to know what's going on in the world.
No.
So he's like, I should probably pay attention to what the weather is because I guess somebody mentioned something on one of his work calls too, and he's just like, what are you talking about? And then he gets my text.
I did happen to just look before we started talking about what the weather and the forecast, and now they've changed it. It's not as cold as they said it was going to be.
Good. Oh, good. And
At
I
least
figured
down here,
if I over prepared, I figured this was going to happen.
That's what it was.
So that's why I was like, because I almost didn't do, because I was like, well, I probably have enough. Then I'm like, you know what? If I don't do it, we're going to get dumped on. I'm going to get stuck in this house. The power is going to go out. I'm going to freeze my ass off.
Yeah.
And I said, nope, just ask him. But I told him, I said, no rush. I'm not, if you can't do it, I totally understand. I know you're busy and blah, blah, blah. But I thought I would just ask. He's like, I'll be right over. I'm like, oh, okay.
And he did all the chopping and stuff like that from
right.
all those
So the deal is
that got taken down.
Yeah, when I get trees removed, they drop the tree. Whoever I hire drops the trees, and then my neighbor comes and takes the trees and cuts them up and splits the wood and has it seasoned. So he's got a rotation of wood piles. What he does is then come fall time, he usually comes over, and I have this big plastic shed bin thing on my deck, and he fills that up with split wood for me. So his house, he runs his wood stove way more than I run mine. I think he really uses it they have heat, they have actual like forced air heat in the house too, but I think he supplements all the time with the wood burning stove. And I'm more of a ambiance, or I'm absolutely freezing. I want to take the chill out of the air, but I'm too cheap to turn the heat up. So let me start a fire kind of person.
Well, there is something nice about a fire when it's cold like that.
Oh, for sure. It's so pretty. And my wood burning stove is awesome. When I get that thing going, I can get the house up to 80. It's amazing. Wow. Yeah, to the point where I have to wear like t-shirts because I'm like, oh God, I'm freaking so hot now.
Poor Killian.
I know, but that's why he stays in the bedroom, because the bedroom's around the corner kind of thing, so it doesn't get as much heat. It still warms up in there, but nothing like the living room. And last weekend. So I'll start off by saying, and I've said it before and I'll say it a million more times, reading really is fundamental, folks. You gotta read and comprehend what you're reading. So I saw this post about our local fire department that was going to be showing a movie at the firehouse called Now, this is funny. Not funny. Sad, really. But they had posted this before the latest California fires, the devastating
No.
fires that are going on currently. It's a movie called Fire in Paradise, and it details the California's 2018 Camp Fire, the deadliest wildfire in the state's history, which now has been superseded by the 2025 wildfires that are going on. But anyway, and it was supposed to be a discussion with the local experts, which will follow the movie. We'll touch on wildfire preparedness and evacuation, forest health, wildfire mitigation, and wildfire safety as it pertains to our county residents. And I saw this and I was like, they did one of those nice talks, which I think I talked about before on here at the local brewery near here. And I couldn't go that day. That's the day Auntie Crystal came to visit, and we had a little too much Christmas cheer, and I could not leave the couch. So I didn't go that night. I felt bad that I didn't support them. Come to find out, it wasn't attended very well, so I felt even worse that I didn't get a chance to go over there. So I saw this and I was like, you know what? I do want to support these guys. They're great. I want to go to this thing. So I was like, oh, it's right next door to where I, get my lottery tickets. So it's on a Saturday. It's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I can do this. It's only an hour. So I go over and I drive by and I look and I'm like, why are there only 2 cars in the parking lot? Like, I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there with only 2 other people being there. I'm like, God, that's terrible. I can't believe it's not being well attended again. So I went over, got my lottery tickets, and I came out. I'm like, you can't blow. You got to support these guys. You got to suck it up and go in that door. So I walked over to the fire department. I go to open the door, and it's locked. And I'm like, what's going on? And, of course, I accidentally had left my phone at home. So I had no communication tool with me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going home. And I went home and looked it up again. And, there's more than one firehouse.
Oh, no.
But
you didn't know, did you?
Well, they gave the address. See, there's where the reading is fundamental part is. The downside is the firehouses are all on the same main road. So I, again, saw the address when I read it, but in my head, it was the one I knew. And nope, it was probably about 5 miles down the road. And by the time I realized coming all the way back home, and then if I went there at that point, I would have been a good half an hour late for the hour-long thing. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not going. So I did post about that. I'm like, my fault. Sorry, guys. I wanted to attend, but I did not look up the actual address and just made a bad assumption as to which facility it was going to be at. So that happened. And yesterday when I went to go pick up my prescription for my hypertension pills, the guy asked me a question behind the counter. He said, do you want a receipt? And I said, no. And then up pops on the screen where I was paying a question. I thought it was the same question. I didn't even read it. And I said, no. And then just as I clicked it, I saw what it said. And it said, do you agree with this amount to pay? And I said, no. So we had to run it again. I'm like, I can't believe I just did that. The guy was very nice. He thinks I'm a total idiot, which I am. It was just funny. So yes, folks, reading, it's very fundamental. Just want to make sure you're all aware.
I hate it when that happens.
Right? Oh, because it's all the information's there, and I still fuck it up, and I'm just like, yeah.
Well, you know what they say when you assume something.
I know. I should have looked it up.
And another time, reading was fundamental. Was when we made our pickled watermelon rinds.
That's right.
And we just
could not. We could not comprehend.
And
agreed. So, Auntie Joan, you've got something coming up that you want to chat about.
Oh boy, I'm so excited. Not. I'm having my.
We get to find out how much full of shit Auntie Joan is.
Well, I'll tell you after this thing, and nobody can say that.
That's why you got to weigh yourself before you start.
No.
And then weigh yourself after the prep is done. And then you know how full of shit you are.
No.
See?
I'm not going to do that. No, I'm having my colonoscopy.
Woo, it's a wet and wild ride, kids.
And I'll tell you, when I had my first one like 25 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they just gave you that gallon prep thing, and you had to
Mm.
drink that the night before, and that was it. You were
Smells.
done.
It tastes like what dirty socks smell like.
No, I thought I I wasn't bothered by it. To me, it almost was like back then they had little flavor packets you could put in
We
it. And
get no flavor.
I think I did a lemon lime flavor, so it was fine.
I
But
never got any
now,
flavor.
now it's like a month before, 4 weeks before, 3 weeks. Well, not quite that bad, but okay. It starts out. Let me just get here. Okay, they give you a grocery list of what to get, and you got to get the Miralax or generic equivalent and Gas X tablets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And then, okay, 5 days before, let's say, do not take any fiber supplements, do not take products that contain iron, then that's no big deal. But then take 1 heaping teaspoon of Miralax mixed with 8 ounces of beverage twice daily until the day before your procedure. 5 days before, you got to start doing this stuff. 3 days before, discontinue high fiber foods. 2 days before, clear liquids. It says, do not eat solid food after 7 p.m. Yeah. After 7 p.m., 2 days before your procedure, no solid food. And follow a clear liquid diet. Gatorade, popsicles, jello, coffee, black, tea, water, clear sodas. There goes my Coca-Cola and
That you can
sparkling
have the
water.
Seagram's ginger ale.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. You betcha.
Mm-hmm.
Then the day before, only drink clear liquids the entire day before your procedure. The full day before. It said before, 2 days before your colonoscopy, do not eat solid food after 7 p.m. Okay. So then the day before, no solid food at all. No, the day before. And then drink at least 8 ounces of clear liquids every hour after waking up. And then 5 p.m. the evening before, you take your 2 tablets of Gas X.
Yes.
And then at 6 o'clock, then you start with the prep. Okay. And then you only take half of it. And then 5 hours before your check-in time, you finish up, 8 ounces every 15 minutes of that stuff until you go in for the procedure. And then 3 hours before check-in, stop drinking all liquids. So you're basically no food or water.
Mm-hmm.
Holy smokes. It's too much.
So it's really the week of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got a call from the anesthesia nurse, to go over when I should stop taking my meds.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day I got a call from the gastroenterologist person, and she had different days that I should stop taking them. So I said, this is what the anesthesia nurse said. She says, we'll go with that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sheesh.
yeah, so you got that to look forward to.
Yes. Yes. I've been getting colonoscopy since I was 35 because of my mother's history. So sadly, no stranger to this process.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's I mean it's good, it's preventative. The prep is the worst part of it. The colonoscopy itself is
Oh,
nighty night and wake up and it's over and yeehaw. And then you get pictures of your colon and I was going to make them as to my Christmas cards because I thought that would have been funny.
well, the last one I had, they found a polyp growing into my appendix.
Ooh.
So then I had to follow up with surgery to have my appendix removed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, thus far, no polyps of any kind for me.
Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah, my colon's always very nice and clean, according to the pictures.
So as of this time next week, ain't nobody going to say I'm full of shit.
Well, just for a day.
Yeah.
Because
I'll
then we're
take
going to
it.
have pizza as a celebration
Ah.
afterwards.
Make it all worthwhile.
That's right. We're going to get some Papa Murphy's pizza and we're going to watch crap movies and stuff and
Oh, we are?
snuggle with the beast and you're going to sleep a lot and
Yeah, probably.
I think you will take some naps just because, but honestly, the anesthesia they use these days is so much better. Where, I remember when I was first getting them, man, I was a loopy mess leaving them.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I was a loopy mess. And then I would get nauseous from the anesthesia. Never threw up or anything, but I would feel like I had to. And I had to sleep it off. It was basically nobody talked to me. Like, I'm not going any. So first time I got one, I was thought I was going to be, like, well, I didn't eat, so I want to eat. So
Yeah.
my friend picked me up and we went to Lucille's,
Mm.
which is a New Orleans style
Mm-hmm.
restaurant in Boulder. And I was all excited to have beignets and all that wonderful, and some nice New Orleans food. And we got in there and I could feel all the blood just rushed out of my face. I went to the bathroom. I thought for sure I was going to throw up. And we'd already ordered. And my friend was smart enough to say, you can just go ahead and we're going to get all that to go. Like, we're not staying here. So we did. We got it to go. And I went home. She took me home and I passed out. And when I woke up, I was totally fine. And then the next time I did it, she also took me. And this time I said, we're just going directly back to my house. You don't have to stay. I'm going to go literally upstairs and pass out for the next few hours and then I'll be fine, which is exactly what happened. But since then, the past 2 times, it's been this other, the latest one where you don't have that. I don't have that effect anymore. I don't get nauseous. When I come out of it, I'm awake and fine, feel totally normal. It's great. It's a much shorter recovery time, but it's still just going through all that. You'll be just tired, nappy.
Well, after your gallbladder thing, it's like you had nothing. I mean, you seem to be quite
Yeah. I was in a
lucid
little
and
bit of pain when I first came out of it, but I was mostly fine. And then I just took whatever, I forget what they give me, not Percocets, the other Oxy. And I took the Oxy for a couple of days or a couple of doses that they recommended I take. I thought I was staying ahead of the pain. So then I just stopped and I was like, oh, well, I guess I don't need this. So the pain was very minimal. I remember feeling pain when I first woke up. But yeah, you're right. I didn't have the grogginess or anything like that by the time you came to get me. So
well, we went went and got bagels or
we
coffee
did.
or something too. Yeah. Yeah. And you got out of the car and you stepped up the curb, and I was a little worried you were gonna, you know, but you walked with purpose,
I walked with purpose.
at least as far
Oh,
as I remember.
I wish you could have seen me walk the first time out after the colonoscopy.
Mm.
That was hysterical. I was literally walking like this because I was all loopy and weird.
Huh.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Good
After
times.
after my first, we went out for hamburgers afterwards.
You did? And you felt
Yes,
okay to do it?
I did. Yep. I felt like nothing happened. Yeah.
Wow, not
Yeah.
me. Yeah, because the first one for me was, so that would have been 2005.
Yeah. Mine was probably about 2000. So, yeah.
Wait, 2005. Yeah, 2005. Yeah. Anywho, yes,
Yeah.
but it's important, everybody. Get your colonoscopies.
I think most of the colon cancers can be avoided with the regular colonoscopies because they take those polyps out right away, and
Right. My poor mother went through quite a lot with
oh,
her colon cancer. So it's really
oh,
important, folks. Really, really important.
oh,
Get it checked. Get the polyps taken care of. It's no guarantee, but certainly your best
mhm.
defense against getting colon cancer. So,
And they're up there and they know what's going on. So if
hmm
something's going on, they can detect it early. So
and
yeah,
a lot of younger people are getting colon cancer
yeah,
these days. So I don't even know what the age. I mean, it was 50 for us. 50 standard is
hmm
anytime once you hit 50, you should get your first colonoscopy unless you have family history like me. That's why I started early. I gotta believe that's come down. I don't even know if it's like 40 or 45
I
now.
think it has at least 45. I mean, I should
Yeah.
have looked, but I didn't.
Yeah. My animals, the first animals I had, their vet, who was either my age, a couple years younger, whatever, she passed away a few years ago from colon cancer. It sneaks up on you. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible disease. So do make sure you get your colonoscopies and listen to your doctors. If they say you need to get them every 5 years and you're like, yeah, I can wait. Nope, do it. The prep is the worst part.
It
Everything else
is.
about it is
It is.
pretty easy. So, yeah, get them done.
Yep. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we discuss what we are watching. And I am so excited about this week.
Yeah, which surprises me because when I told you about this show, I thought, well, you probably wouldn't like it.
I
But you
do like it.
did.
I
You
do like it.
do.
I really, really like it a lot. Tell them what it is,
Ah.
Auntie Joan.
Oh, and what we're talking about is evil.
On the Netflix.
Yeah, that's the name of it.
Yes.
Evil.
Yes. It's evil and it's awesome. And I like it because it's got the fun, the silliness associated with the creepy. So I can
Yeah.
watch it.
Well, if you haven't seen it, it first started on CBS back in 2021.
Hmm.
That's when I first saw it. I actually did watch it. And I think I watched, like maybe 5 of the episodes. And then I just forgot about it. And then I was looking through Netflix the other week and saw it was up there that they were going to start season 3. So I thought, season 3? You mean they've got season 1 and season 2 too? So I thought, well, I'll start watching it again. So I did. Okay,
Okay.
I'll read the premise.
Where are you reading this from?
Well, my go-to place.
Wikipedia?
Yes. Skeptical forensic psychologist Dr. Kristen Bouchard, Catholic seminarian David Acosta, and skeptical technology contractor Ben Shakir are hired by the Catholic Church to investigate purported supernatural events. As time passes, the three find their personal lives increasingly intertwined with such events, and the individuals behind some of the events, such as Dr. Leland Townsend, a rival forensic psychologist who seems obsessed with Kristen and her family. Another one of the main characters, too, is Kristen's mother, Cheryl. She plays a bigger part as the seasons progress. So it starts out they're looking at possessions, people who claim to be possessed by the devil. And I thought that the evil creatures, like that Kristen dreams about and Dr. Leland Townsend works for, were a bit much. I mean, they were very much caricatures of how we see evil and stuff, but I thought it was, well, kind of a bit hokey. But I looked beyond that and just I enjoyed the characters.
Hmm.
Dr. Kristen Bouchard, who is played by, you probably know who she is, Katja Herbers. She looks like she's 13 years old. And she plays the mother of 4 girls. Now, she's kind of well, she claims to be an atheist, and she sends her girls to Catholic school. Now, I find that interesting.
I think they hinted at why later in the series. I think it's actually a perk of the business she's doing with the Catholic Church.
But they were going before that.
They were going to school before that, but they never said they were going to Catholic school before that.
But they wore the uniforms.
We didn't see their uniforms until later in the series. So I do,
Oh.
so because she makes a comment about it in an episode I've seen recently, and I'm only up to episode 3, I think, on season 3. So I've seen all of 1, all of 2. So I don't know if it was in season 3 or at the end of season 2, but they made a comment about that she basically the schooling is free because they talked about taking the kids out of school for some reason, but it was out of the school, but it's basically free to them because of she's getting free Catholic school tuition. And the kid, because the girls even said, well, if we go to public schools, they I don't think they said metal detectors, but something about, it's too scary there because of the potential of
Yeah, yeah.
shootings and all that. I forget. It was something like that. It was recent that I saw this. So she made it sound like it was a perk for the business she was doing with the Catholic Church.
Okay. Now, every time I think of those 4 girls
Mm-hmm.
coming into the house after school,
Mm-hmm.
they're wearing parochial school uniforms,
Mm-hmm.
the little plaid outfits, jumper things.
Right. But was that after she took on you're saying that, but you can emphatically state that
I
without.
can.
Okay.
I'll go back and revisit it, but I'm pretty gosh darn sure.
Okay.
Maybe I should go to Wikipedia again and check
Yeah,
it out.
because there's a good source.
It is. It's the best.
All I know is that that's what she said in a recent episode that I've seen was that she's getting the school paid for. So that's why she's doing it. Because somebody questioned that exact thing that you're questioning. You know, is it if she's non-believer, why is she sending her kids to a Catholic church,
Uh-huh.
to
Uh-huh.
Catholic schools? And she said it's because they get free tuition.
Well,
Now, I
guess
will
what?
say she didn't say it was necessarily because of her job. I don't know how else she would have gotten free tuition at the Catholic schools
I
other
don't
than
either.
her job, but that's what she said. So I made the inference that it was because of her job, because she didn't say my job allows me to get free tuition. She just said because they get free tuition. And I was like, well, the only way you get that is, I assumed, from her job. But
As if you're a priest or a nun, right? Your kids get to go to Catholic school.
well, I would think that priest or nun wouldn't have kids.
That they know of, that we know of.
That they admit are theirs. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. But I hear you. But like I said, that's how she explains it in later episodes.
I'll just have to do my research then and do a deep dive and to back up my statement. And obviously Wikipedia isn't good enough. So I'll go to Reddit and read what the
What the experts say.
yes.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, what I enjoyed about, because I'm rewatching it and I can't wait till they start with season 4 again, and I was trying to figure out how I could get on my Paramount Plus, which I supposedly have, but they keep wanting me to sign in and then sign up with how I'm going to pay for it if I want the free trial or whatever. So anyway,
Your
'cause
sign
that's
in
the
should
last
be
season.
your cable operator sign in.
Oh, I know. I can't keep them straight. But anyway, where was I?
You're excited for season 4, but you can't get to it.
Well, what I enjoyed about these to start with were the storylines. And well, I was raised Catholic. So all this about demonic possession and exorcism and stuff like that, I'm very familiar with. I mean, at least I have knowledge of. But I like the other stories that they bring into, like the angel, Michael the Archangel, and some of the other, well, then the boy who was trying to kill his sister and all that stuff. And I like how, yeah, I think it's season 2, they kind of start tying some of these cases together because there's a common denominator with some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like how they got there. I like that David, the seminarian,
Mm-hmm.
he's so faithful. I mean, he's got so much faith and he believes in God. And Kristen, who's the atheist, she always tries to put the psychological spin on it. And then you've got Ben, the magnificent, the tech guy, who's always looking for the technical reason. I just like how they introduce these possibilities into phenomena and the supernatural.
Mm-hmm. I think some of it can be a little choppy. Like, I still don't understand. And I didn't go back and rewatch it, but I don't remember what season it was in when they went to see the priest,
His father.
his father, and his father's new wife gave birth to some creature in the cornfield. Was that real? Was that her hallucinating? Was that, but then she was pregnant? Like, what? Like, that just all went away. It was so bizarre to me. And I'm like, so what? Like, did she give birth to a child in the cornfield, or was the whole thing a hallucination? You know what I mean? Like, they never really explained what happened there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, I mean, she was pregnant. That was a
Yes.
fact.
Great with child.
So, like I said, was she hallucinating? What kind of child came out of her? This is
Oh God, I hope so.
Kristen, the psychologist.
Uh-huh.
They ended up drinking some, I don't know, I don't know if it was punch or whatever the hell it was, or some kind of
Sangria.
cocktail, sangria, and they laced it with
LSD.
Was it LSD?
Psilocybin. Yeah.
Yeah. So they got high, but the wife, David's father's wife, did go out. Well, we see her in a cornfield giving birth.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But like I said, I don't know if the whole thing was a hallucination. Like, did she even go out in the cornfield, or was she just sitting there? Like, I don't know. And then they never went back. Like, they left there and that was that. And I'm like, well, what was that?
Yeah, yeah.
So I didn't appreciate that. And they do that a little bit from time to time in this show, where they just kind of introduce something and then it goes away and you're just like, well, should I remember that or should I just let that go? Like,
they don't resolve it.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay. That
When
was
I watched it,
interesting.
when I watched that episode the second time, I came away from that just thinking that it was all a hallucination.
So she didn't
And
give birth to anything, not even a real baby.
I don't think so, but that's my interpretation of what I saw.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. But I do love Andrea Martin, who
ah,
plays
yeah.
Sister Andrea. I adored her since My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and she was Aunt Vula in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and she's been in quite a few things since she was in
hmm
Only Murders in the Building. She's so good. She's so
She
good,
is.
and she's very good in this role.
Yeah, yeah.
She does an exceptional job, and honestly, I think she should get a supporting actress award for it because she's doing a really, really good job with it.
hmm
I thoroughly
hmm
enjoy her. Yeah, I liked when she made her first appearance. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good, and she is good. She is good. It makes me happy.
She's a no nonsense kind of gal. I like that.
Yes. And then Patrick Bramall is also in it. He plays Kristen Bouchard's husband, Andy
Mm,
Bouchard. And he's away a lot because they
hmm
have a trekking business and he takes people on with the Sherpas up Mount Everest and they, do hikes up there and climb the mountain and all that wonderful stuff. But he was also or is also in Colin from Accounts and he is natively Australian. His English accent is so
Yeah,
good. Like you would never like
yeah.
if you did like you've never seen Colin from Accounts.
Mm-mm.
So would you ever expect that this
No,
person was Australian?
no,
And he is. And so it's good to see him because I do like Colin from Accounts. I never got to finish it or if there's more seasons beyond season one. I think I did finish season one. I take that back. If there's more seasons after that, I don't have Paramount Plus no more, so I can't see it. Or unless it gets on the plane again, because that's how I rewatched it on my plane ride back from Europe. He's a good actor. I like him. I like him in this. I think it's a good character for him. So they got quite a few folks in there. I mean, Peter Scolari was in it before he passed.
Yeah,
That was very
yeah.
sad. I was excited to see him because I really hadn't seen him since, gosh, it's been a long time. But of course, I know him the most from Bosom Buddies from way back in the
And
80s with
see,
Tom Hanks.
and I know him from back in the 70s with the Bob Newhart show.
So
So,
it's good to see him. I'm sorry that he passed.
yeah, he
Um,
looks good in
He did. I was surprised that I know that, he went away for a couple of episodes and then they did the in memory of Peter Scolari. And I was like, oh my God, did Peter Scolari die?
I know,
And I
that
was
was
like,
so
oh, in
sad.
2021 he died. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I probably did know at the time, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him in something in so long that I didn't think of it. So it was sad to see him go. And Wallace Shawn has just made again, I'm saying just because I'm still catching up in I don't know if it's the beginning of season 3 or the end of season 2. I think it's season 3 where he was dying of cancer. He's played
Oh,
the
the
priest.
priest there? Yeah.
Yeah, where he was dying of cancer and they put him in they were supposed to weigh. It
Yeah.
was an experiment to weigh not the people, the main characters, but a peripheral set of characters that was introduced was running an experiment to see what a body would weigh
How
post
much how much a
dying.
soul weighs. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what they were trying to measure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they had a terminally ill patient, Wallace Shawn, come in. Well, they wheeled him in and he died and his body weight dropped. And they had assumed that
Yeah.
was for how much his soul weighed. And then he woke up and was totally fine and cancer free. And
Didn't his weight then start gaining?
no, next person. So then
Oh.
another episode. So he lived and he went on, apparently was in love with David
Yeah.
Acosta's Monsignor.
Yeah.
And so they had to part ways because they were afraid of what would happen if they continued to stay in the same parish.
Yeah.
Then they did another experiment. Another terminally ill person came in and she was dying and they weighed her while she was still breathing. And when she passed, her weight went up and she did die, but their assumption was that Wallace Shawn's soul went into her because when she died, she died of the same thing he was afflicted with when he first came in. So,
Yeah, yeah.
right? It was an interesting premise. I thought that was kind of different and a new little twist. I kind of liked where they went with that. But she did actually, this woman did not wake up and was totally fine. She actually did die, but she died at a higher weight than when
Right,
she was
right. Yeah.
alive. Yeah.
And they had noticed the lights and stuff were
Right.
flickering.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole
So
time.
either his soul went into her and a demon, like they were, speculating how her weight could have increased. And also how what she was pronounced dead with, her
Yes,
cause of
yes.
death was the exact same thing that Wallace Shawn's character went in with and then walked away completely healthy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was cool. I like the way they did that one.
That'll probably happen to me when I die. I'll probably gain weight.
No, stop it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that'd be just my luck, wouldn't it?
And then, you mentioned Cheryl, who is Kristen's mother, Christine Lottie. Now, I knew of her from Chicago Hope back in the day. She played a doctor on that. But now she's very thin, in my opinion. She always was normal. I mean, she was never heavy, don't get me wrong, but she was more average sized, I guess I would say, and looked healthy and all that. And not that she doesn't really look healthy now. She's just noticeably much thinner than I remember her being on Chicago Hope.
Yeah, she does look a lot thinner.
And her character does get really dark and plays a bigger role in what's still unfolding for me. Like I said, I'm not through even season 3 yet. And I know there's a season 4 already and started on Paramount Plus, but she's a bit twisted.
And I think there's like 13 episodes in season 3 too. So
oh boy, I got 10 more to.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
I got lots to go.
yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do this weekend when it's snowing and cold outside.
Oh yes, nice and cozy.
I'll keep working on the damn puzzle Auntie Joan gave me, 1,000 pieces.
I was gonna give you another one that's a lot less pieces.
This one's
Maybe
no joke.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you next week. I love it when the girls, Kristen's girls, come home from school.
They're lunatics.
And they're like a little tornado coming. The door opens, and all 4 of them are all talking at the same time, and they're at each other, and then they all start talking to whatever adult is in the room, and then it's just like, stop.
Yes, yes, indeed. It's Lynn, Lila, Lexus, and Laura, all L's.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, and they are funny, and they like to be spooked.
Oh yeah, yeah. They love the ghosts and murders and all that stuff.
And they help. They help Kristen a little bit with some things, like things that are being found on the internet or the kids are seeing on social media and things like that. So she doesn't necessarily rope them into a lot of her casework, but she does leverage some of their knowledge, which I think is kind of cute. That they're kind of helping their mom with what's going on in the social media world that most adults are a little oblivious to.
Yes.
So
good show. And I was looking on Reddit last night, and somebody was saying, well, maybe some other network will pick them up and continue the stories, continue the series, because CBS and Netflix dropped them. So I don't know why they would think some other network would pick them up, but anyway.
What are you talking about?
Evil. I went to Reddit. I was looking at some comments about it on Reddit last night.
But season 4 is I don't understand.
Season 4 is the last episode, and that's been done. And I think it's already aired on Yes, it's already aired on CBS, and they're saying that it will probably air on Netflix in about 6 months.
Right.
So some of these people on Reddit were saying it was such a good show. Let's hope another network picks them up and they continue the stories. They continue the series, start new episodes.
Oh, okay. This is I did not realize that Eva was canceled. So that's why I'm very confused by what you were talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, season 4 is the last season.
Well, but that only aired in 2024. That's why it still didn't make sense. Like, I had not heard that.
Yeah, no, supposedly they haven't.
No, I just looked it up. It has been canceled, but I did not know that until that's what I'm like, What are you talking about? I'm very confused.
I know what I'm talking about. I don't know why you don't.
Gotcha. Huh. Oh, that's a shame. I did not know that. But
Yeah.
that's okay. I still have so many more episodes to go through. I'm okay for right now. So maybe by the time I finish season 4, whenever that hits Netflix, maybe somebody else would have picked them up. Who knows? Maybe Paramount Plus will just do it holistically versus being aired on CBS broadcast and then being reshowed on Paramount Plus. Who knows? But
Yeah, who knows?
it's a good show. I like it. Unless season 4 sucks. And then maybe we'll be like, good thing it went.
From what I read, I don't think so. And the comment was that they ended it at a place that would make sense, but that gives kind of closure to it. But yet there's still could possibly go on. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yep. It's a good one, folks. If you've got some time and you want to binge something that's a little creepy, it's got some humor in it. Not, like laugh track humor or anything like that, but just silly little quips. And if you can suspend reality a little bit, it's a good watch. The characters are very good.
And they do leave some things open for the possibility of supernatural occurrences. So not everything is poo-hooed and solved as being technical or psychological or whatever. So
right. Good pick, Auntie Joan.
Well, thanks. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program we discuss commercials we have to talk about. And Auntie Joan and I were watching TV together this morning. And just so happens that a commercial came on. They were both like, what the actual fuck was that?
Well, I didn't say that.
Yeah, little Miss Prim and Proper. And it was for the latest season of The Bachelor, which is going to be premiering on January 27th. It's season 29 promo. And it shows little clips like you would expect from the, new Bachelor season coming out. And all of a sudden, there's a goddamn llama staring at us on the TV.
I love llamas.
And this woman who said, "This is no drama llama." And I'm like, what is happening on The Bachelor? So I came home and I did a little digging on the line, and I found out that No Drama Llama's actual name is Linda the Llama.
Oh.
And one of the latest contestants on this season 29, this is her animal, spirit animal, whatever. Excuse me. I had soup before we started and had a lot of garlic in it. So I'm a little hiccupy burpy. Sorry.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. And she's declaring this llama no llama drama to the new Bachelor. And his name is Grant Ellis. And Grant became the Bachelor because he was on the Bachelorette season whatever the fuck. And who cares? And he didn't get the rose or fucking whatever they do.
He was a loser.
I haven't watched The Bachelor. I've never watched The Bachelorette.
No.
I haven't watched The Bachelor since maybe season 1. Maybe I made it to season 2. I don't know. They're on 29 now, so God knows it's been a while. And now they got the Golden Bachelor and all that crap over too. Jiminy crickets. Way too many things to keep up with.
Give me a break.
So, yes. And then also in that same crazy promo with the llama staring at us in the TV screen, there was a blurb. All of a sudden they start cutting to all the different women crying, and then Grant crying. Meh. And they called it, what was it? I wrote it down. "Here we go again." Comes across the screen, and I'm just like, OMG. People, stop watching The Bachelor. Listen to Pickled Watermelon Rinds instead.
Yes. Yes.
We're your guilty pleasure, not that crap that's on TV.
That's right.
Terrible. Terrible. I don't understand how people watch this crap.
I don't either. I mean, it's obviously a generational thing, but why they think that they want golden bachelors and bachelorettes.
Oh, I haven't done the
That's
Bachelorette yet. They've only done Golden Bachelor.
no, they
But
didn't.
they did a Bachelorette? Did I miss it? Well, it's fine with me. Wouldn't watch it anyway. I thought it was just Golden Bachelor thus far, but I could be wrong because I'm not in that world.
Oh, now you got me wondering.
I don't know. I don't know, sister. All I know is none of it needs to be happening. Go to church and meet your people. You don't need no TV show and you don't need to compete. First of all, ladies, let me just put that out there. You don't need to compete for shit. If somebody wants you, they want you. If they don't, they don't. There's no need for this competition horse shit. There's no, gross, gross. Yes, these gentlemen may be very good looking. Okay, but no, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Get out there, do your thing if that's what you want. Or don't. I don't really care. Just don't go on these stupid ass shows. Your 15 minutes of fame are not worth your dignity. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, some people just can't be by themselves.
It's true, but I think these women are more just in search of fame. They just want their 15 minutes on TV, get their name out there so they can,
the young ones,
get their products, get sponsorships and, stop it. Just stop it. Just everybody stop it. And the fact that now older women of a certain age, as Auntie Joan likes to say, are doing this Golden Bachelor horse shit is just, that to me screams issues. Sorry, folks. Because we all know better by this age. There ain't no reason these people are doing this other than the 15 minutes of fame.
Okay, so there was a Golden Bachelorette. Her name was Joan. Yeah.
Of course. Was it you?
I'm not saying. I think some of the older people who go on do it because they want to show that just because you're older doesn't mean, you can't be sexy and you can't be vital and you can't be this, that, and the other thing. I think they feel they want to prove that they're still alive and vital. I don't get it myself. I didn't live this long to continue living like I was in my 20s. I think each age has a purpose. And as we get older, I think our purposes, we're not our childbearing years anymore. So why can't we find something else to do if we feel that need? Does it have to be to continue to be part of a couple or a partner to somebody? And more women I know, once, like who are left as widows, they're quite content.
They put in their time.
Yeah. They're quite content to live by themselves. That's when, after the kids are grown and gone, they can start expressing their creativity or whatever it is they want, or start traveling, or, that sense of freedom that they didn't have until that happened. Why somebody'd want to get roped up with some old dude again? And I don't know.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed that. I never got roped up with no dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why would you be sorry about that? I'm not.
I think it's nice that women in particular can feel it's okay to be their own person and not have to be part of a couple. And as I was coming up and like in my 20s and 30s, it was like everybody I knew had a boyfriend or a husband or whatever. And if you weren't part of a couple, then you really didn't count. So it's just nice to see that women are feeling that sense of independence. You go, girls.
Creepy commercial for a creepy show.
No drama llama.
Just steer clear, because here we go again. All right, Auntie Joan, anything else for our listener today?
Nope. I think I'm good. Thanks.
You're welcome. And that wraps it for yet another wonderful Pickled Watermelon Rinds episode. This is Auntie signing off.
And Auntie Joan saying bye-bye now.
We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.